Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You twist a tap and nothing comes out. Your hands are dry. Your throat burns. The simple act of drinking water, something you've never questioned, becomes an unanswered question. How did a land of mighty rivers, the Ganga, the Yamuna, the Brahmaputra, come to fear the silence of a tap? How did a nation that once engineered brilliant water systems centuries before the industrial age reach a point where cities wait in shifts for drops and farmers watch the earth crack beneath their feet? We explore a crisis India can no longer outrun. But this is not only a story of scarcity, it is a story of awakening, a story of ancient wisdom rediscovered, a story of technology, community, and courage rewriting the fate of water. The world is watching, because what India faces today, many nations will face tomorrow. And the most important question is not, how did this happen? But can the future still be saved before the last drop falls? There is a moment, silent and ordinary, that most of us never think about. A hand twists a tap, water flows, life continues. But imagine, twisting that tap and nothing happens. No water today, no guarantee tomorrow, just uncertainty. For millions across India, that is not imagination. That is daily life. And it raises a question that the world can no longer ignore. What happens when a nation of more than 1 billion people begins to run out of water? India, the planet's second most populated country. 1.3 billion people today, projected to reach 1.7 billion by 2050. 16% of humanity, living on just 4% of Earth's freshwater. A paradox emerges. India is not technically short of water. It receives enough rain each year to supply every citizen abundantly. Yet millions struggle just for a safe drink, not because nature failed, but because systems did. Decades of neglect, overuse, unsupervised groundwater pumping, fragmented governance, and unchecked corruption have led India toward the brink of what experts warn may become the greatest water crisis in modern history. The real story lies below the surface, deep underground. For 50 years, India treated groundwater like an endless treasure chest. Electricity subsidies pumped millions of bore wells day and night. Groundwater became the silent backbone of farms, feeding over 600 million people. But the water table fell, 1 meter, 2 meters, 4 meters, and in some regions even more. What felt like progress became a countdown, a free-for-all of groundwater access without rules or limits, until the ground itself began to run dry. The crisis had moved from the rivers to the soil, from the visible to the invisible. For decades, water scarcity was seen as a rural problem. But a dramatic shift has begun. India's rapidly expanding cities, once symbols of growth, now stand on fragile foundations. In one neighborhood, taps run daily. In another, families wait 3, 4, 5 days for a few minutes of supply. Some rising cities receive water only at midnight, a silent race to fill every pot before the pipes run dry. Gurgaon faces shortfalls of 100 million liters daily. Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar distributes water once every 12 days. Dozens of cities depend on pipelines older than independent India. Urbanization has collided with climate change, and the results are catastrophic. Heat waves now frequently cross 45 degrees Celsius. Rivers overflow in the monsoon, then shrink to ghosts in the summer. Floods and droughts take turns, attacking the same city in the same year. Water scarcity is no longer rural or urban. It is national. India is not alone. Cape Town, South Africa, nearly reached day zero in 2017. São Paulo, Brazil, rationed water despite being surrounded by rivers. China faces declining rivers. California faces disappearing snow reserves. Across the world, cities once confident in their stability now confront a shared threat: the silent depletion of freshwater. The world is looking at India not as an isolated tragedy, but as a preview of a global future. Crisis often sparks panic, but here quietly it has sparked innovation. A revolution is underway. Ancient water wisdom, forgotten for centuries, is being reborn. Step wells, tanks, and irrigation ponds are being restored. When monsoon rains fall, they don't race away. They soak deep, recovering lost aquifers. Technology is stepping in where policy failed. Smart groundwater sensors, solar monitoring stations, and digital dashboards now provide real-time water data to communities once left in the dark. For the first time, citizens can see what lies underground, and decisions become informed, not blind. There is a fundamental shift happening, a change not in water, but in mindset. Wastewater, once a burden, is turning into a resource. New generation sewage treatment plants now convert wastewater into water clean enough for industry, irrigation, and, in pilot projects, even drinking. Cities that once dumped sewage into rivers are reclaiming it. A closed-loop system is emerging. What leaves the tap may return through another one, clean and safe. And along coastlines, decentralized solar-powered desalination promises drinking water without fossil fuels or mega infrastructure. For decades, the message was, find more water. Now the message is, use what you have, smarter. No solution is complete without confronting the largest user, agriculture. Farms consume almost 80% of India's water. But here too, a transformation is unfolding. Drip irrigation and micro-sprinklers deliver water directly to plant roots, cutting consumption in half while raising yields. AI and satellite-based agritech now tell farmers exactly when to irrigate, not based on routine, but based on real data. Drought-resistant crops, hydroponics, aquaponics. New farming reduces water stress without reducing income. The world's largest agricultural nation is learning to grow more with less. For years, water policy focused on building pipes, tanks, pump houses. But infrastructure alone is not enough. A turning point is emerging from construction to governance. Service benchmarks now evaluate water continuity, pressure, quality, billing efficiency, and complaint redressal. Citizen feedback is slowly becoming part of the rating system. Community-led lake restoration, water user committees, and local monitoring groups are beginning to succeed where large programs failed. The most effective solutions are not massive. They are local, participatory, and rooted in responsibility. As heat waves grow longer and monsoons grow unpredictable, every drop of water becomes a tool of survival. Heat action plans now integrate water supply into emergency response, using tankers and hydration stations to prevent heat deaths during red alerts. City climate action plans view water not simply as infrastructure, but as public health, as resilience, as life itself. The crisis that once threatened to divide India is now forcing collaboration, innovation, and shared responsibility. This is not a story of doom, it is a story of awakening. For decades, water was invisible because it was always there. Now its absence has forced us to see it clearly. India's fight for water is difficult, complicated, and ongoing, but something extraordinary has happened. Engineers, farmers, students, scientists, entrepreneurs, citizens, everyone is becoming part of the solution. Ancient methods and cutting-edge technology now work together. Communities protect what governments once ignored. Young innovators treat every drop as data. A new philosophy is emerging. Water is not a resource, it is a responsibility. If India succeeds, the world learns the blueprint for resilience. If India secures water for 1.7 billion people, it won't be just a national victory. It will be a planetary milestone. The last drop does not have to be the final one. It can be the first drop of a new beginning. The future of water is being written now, one community at a time, one innovation at a time, one drop at a time.